I'm excited about it. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Buffalo Sports Insider, your spot for everything sports, everything Buffalo. My name is KJ Zelzinski. I'm joined here with my lovely co-hosts, Justin C. Jack, Deshaun Francois, and Thomas Bailey, back once again. We're going to have maybe a little special guest, a new face you haven't seen around later in the show, but we'll see about that later. But before we get into anything, just make sure to check out our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I think that's about it. YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're on YouTube. You can check that out. And make sure to check out our website for any of our content that we're posting pretty much daily at this point now. Again, all these Bills recaps, Sabres recaps, features, a ton of stuff. We got it on our website, so check that out. Any questions you got for us as well, drop it in the chat, and we will take a look at it.
And one last thing before he wraps up that, make sure to tune into our light takes from Brandon Berry. He did post that today. I think we got a very funny clip that you guys can go ahead and watch. Yeah. I enjoyed watching it when he sent it to me, so y'all go ahead and take a look at those light takes from Brandon Berry.
100% agree. Shout out Brandon. So let's go and get started with the first thing on our list today, which is the Sabres' first win of the season against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, hand around the table. I mean, hey, like, how about Dylan Cousins? Because, again, I mean, I'll be completely honest here. I was riding pretty low on Dylan Cousins for the first, couple of games. It was not great for this guy, but, hey, an OT winner looks good to me. So, I mean, tell me more about it. I mean, what are the emotions we're feeling as we're watching him net that in the final minutes of overtime?
I think, to be honest, like, that whole line has underperformed so far, and like that's a big thing for this team to get at least one of them going right now, especially early on, things like that. I was pretty low on him as well, and to see him get that overtime winner felt really good.
100%. I mean, I totally agree.
What do you feel about that?
Dude, I mean, like, so I was, I'll be completely honest. I got spoiled by the ESPN app because I got the notification for the goal went in the net, or the puck went in the net,
rather. Are you watching all streamies?
Oh,
I watch all. I understand that pain. So
yeah. No, thanks a lot, Fubo. No, so, but again, just really cool. I said it. I just good to see him finally producing. But there were some other parts of the game too that I kind of want to address because. Sure, it was a 3-2 game, but again, we were up 2-1, 7 seconds left. Puck goes in the net. Now it's tied. We're going to overtime. 3-2 in overtime. But I mean, Tommy, there were a number of chances. We were just watching the tape. So many chances that the Sabres had to put in the net. Now, like, what's the problem? Like, why are there so many shots off the post? Why are we not getting it to the net enough? What do you think the source of that is?
I think it's just like early game jitters, there's a lot of expectations on this team, and we are a very young team at that. And
youngest, right?
Oh yeah, one of the youngest in the league. And like, because of things like that, it makes it really difficult for the players to meet those expectations. And with that thought in their head, it kind of takes away from their style of the game, and it kind of just doesn't give them the same mentality that they're used to having.
Yeah.
And because of things like that, it leads to the shot like the post dinger from Greenway right at the beginning, middles that, fed him beautifully. That line's been excellent, but that's another topic. Other than that, Okposo had one that he missed. He missed the net. Other than that, there's also Tage Thompson. There's a lot of things to look at, and like, even though we did give up that goal with 7 seconds left, it's not fully on the defense right there. Yeah. There's a lot of chances to make this a bigger goal lead, and because of that, we ended up forcing overtime.
Yeah, I think it's important that they get one finally in the win column, right? I mean, sports is a momentum thing. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that once you get a few under your belt, you start to click finally. And I think that we're gonna start seeing that not only with the Sabres, but especially with Dylan Cousins, who finally gets one to go there in overtime. The stadium was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's big for the team. It obviously helps build that culture around the team. It's just big for the new guys who needed to create more chemistry with people who have been here. And was just very excited to see them get in the win column.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned the fans too, because I mean, I remember this would have been a few years ago during the dark ages of Sabres hockey, where it was Martin Luther King Day and they were facing the Red Wings. And I mean, I went to that. It was a 1 p.m. game or whatever on Saturday, Sunday, something like that. And I mean, it's empty. It is empty.
There was no reason to go watch the Sabres.
Exactly. There really wasn't. So
there's
it's
a lot
just,
of talent now.
Exactly. A lot of talent and a lot of people back there. I mean,
so it's interesting that I'm actually able to chime in on this because I was doing a little bit of research on that. I heard that there wasn't many fans in the stadium, so I took a little peek on Twitter, X, whichever one you're comfortable with, and I saw Matt Beauvais had something to talk about it, and he was like, he believes that there's a conspiracy that it could have just been tickets got pumped previously due to lack of people wanting to watch the Sabres, and then they got sold at such a low price before that no one even wants to attend. So maybe that'll be something that we change with the wind starting to come in.
Yeah,
and
true.
That's another thing that I wanted to talk about as well. Is this going to be somewhere like we could see them boosting their win column going up, and how does this lead into the next game? What do you guys think about that?
So that's an interesting conversation to have. I like that you brought up tickets too, because we were even talking about, I remember this was some weeks back in our early episodes about Sabres limiting ticket prices and everything like that. But I mean, the amount of Toronto fans that will come down just for a Leafs game is crazy. And that's kind of like, it's tough to be a home fan, like when you see a bunch of away fans just sitting around you. But I mean, going into this next game, I think it is really just a morale booster. Again, you're at home again, and this time against the Flames. And again, just with this win behind you, I mean, going back home, the fans are going to show up again because again, now we're starting to get motivation. Shout out to a good friend of mine who was talking about how first game they got 1 goal, second game they get 2 goals, third game 3 goals. I'm looking at big 4 for this next one. So I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think it's finally time for that top line to pop. It's got to happen at some point here. There's too much talent on that top line.
They did. Skinner getting
sure, absolutely,
but,
but we're looking for Tage. We're looking for Tuck to get on the board here. And I think they will eventually. There's too much talent there for it to not happen. And like I said, a complete game is what we're looking for because there are still some holes. It's still early in the season. But obviously, I think there was a decent step up in play from Devin Levi this past game.
Yeah. Let's close out the segment. I want to talk about that.
I just want to mention, I think he made some big time saves, especially thinking back to Braden Point in the slot. He absolutely robbed him there. That was a highlight play. And I think there's going to be a lot of those this season.
I agree. Yeah, again, thank you for bringing it up because I think Devin Levi, a lot of the conversation has been, are these games? I mean, the 5-1 game with the Rangers, is that his fault? And then, going back to the Islanders game, I don't think that was his fault at all. And even this game, again, you got one that gets past you, and even the final 7 seconds, it's like your defense has to help you out in the crease there. Right. So just a ton of things going Levi's way. Again, this kid is just, I mean, really showing off in this third game here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, only up from there. So I'm super excited to see what Levi can do for the team. And again, even with the top line production, I need to hear fishing in the dark at least once this season from Tager. Hopefully, maybe 6 times in a game. I keep saying it might happen. But I mean, I guess this brings us into our next segment where we're switching it up a little, taking it away just from sports a little bit. Let's talk music, guys. I mean, hey, the goal songs released maybe a week ago for the Buffalo Sabres. Let's do a little bit of ranking. Yeah, let's. I mean, we took the list, right? Compiled it into a top 5. Yeah. I want to hear, starting with Justin. Sure. What's at your 5 spot on your list?
5 spot, I'm gonna go "Jukebox Hero" by Casey Middleton.
Okay,
that's a good tune.
Absolutely,
that's a tune that I can kind of attribute back to my childhood because that song was on Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So I love that's a good tune.
Tommy.
For number 5, I put "Humble" by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Dolly.
Kenny. I do love some Kenny.
I'm gonna have to go with Tommy right there. I got Humble at number 5 as well.
Yeah,
I'm a very big rap guy, and that's you're gonna see that consistency in my top 5 as well. So
see, I'm a big Kenny fan too. So I'm really trying to decide between Humble, but one takes the cake for me. I gotta put One More Time by Daft Punk up there. Yeah. I mean, come on now, like just to be able to score and get One More Time back up there.
That's a vibe for the fans.
That is vibe.
All right, how about your number 4?
I'm gonna go Humble here with Kendrick Lamar.
It's got to sneak in there
for Dolly. I mean, that's a timeless jam, but
love
I mean, there's songs that I gotta put over it, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
My number 4 is Rasputin.
Okay.
I absolutely love that. It's such a vibe for me. Krebsy, I'm hoping to hear that a little bit more often this year from him. So
absolutely, I agree with you.
My number 4 started from the bottom.
Okay.
I told you how it is.
Yeah,
Drake, baby.
I think with that, you can pick better Drake songs, and even Sammy has the motto on there, and that's not what I'm going with.
But that's why I had it at number 4.
That's
fine. The motto
towards the bottom. So for me, I gotta throw in Yeah, 4. Did I say 3?
Yeah,
4
you
for
said
me.
5.
I gotta put in
He's tired, guys.
Kanye West's Power.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
Come on now, power picking Power is just great, and
Oh, yeah.
to be able to hear that every time he scores, if he scores, I would love to hear it. Number 3.
Number 3, I got Grove Street Party for Jordan Greenway. It's a classic.
Oh,
That's a
man,
banger.
no.
Waka Flocka.
I love
That
that
was
song.
my 6. That was
That-
right
that-
outside
it
the
had
top
to-
5.
It had to sneak into my
Right
top
outside
5.
the
That's a
top
good,
5
that's a
for
good
me,
tune.
man.
And Jordan Greenway was playing some electric hockey to start the
Oh,
season.
he
yeah.
sure is. Kind of back into my 3. Kind of back into the power thing.
Sure.
I did White Horse because the
Mhm.
workhorse from
The
White
workhorse,
Horse.
yeah,
LA
exactly.
Cousins, baby. I love that. It's
Yeah.
just such a fun little thing for him.
Exactly. Got fans heard it for the first time last night, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about that.
So in my 3, I got Power by Kanye.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah,
I need a specific reason for it. I mean, like
No,
it's
it's
just
just-
Kanye.
Yeah, Power, and
Sure.
also for your reason, I know Power chose
Power,
Power,
Power.
because it's Power's name. So
Yeah, I love it. All right. For me, for my 3, I got Fishing in the Dark by Tage Thompson. I mean, so I didn't know the song obviously before, maybe past season, but we made this whole playlist, compiled it, and I'm like listening through, and I kept going back to Fishing in the Dark, man. I mean, and like it maybe doesn't like have that same drive that like
Sure.
Power or Humble
Oh,
does,
yeah.
like that same that attack to it, but I mean, it's a feel good song,
Yeah.
and like and when you hear it a lot when Tage is on the ice, like
It's gonna happen a
it's
lot
his song,
this year.
man. That's why I love about it. So your number 2.
Yeah. Number 2, I got Matthias Samuelson's choice, The Motto.
Motto.
That's an all-timer. I
That's a
can't.
good one.
That's got to
True.
make the list.
It's a good
I'm a
one.
big Drake guy, so
See,
we got one on there.
I'm trying to think if we're thinking about Drake songs here. I don't know. Like even Six God would be up there for
Oh
me.
yeah, if
personally.
that's on there, it's
Well,
getting
that's what I'm
higher.
saying.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
there-
I'm saying.
I feel like there's better choices that the team could have picked.
Sure.
yes,
But
Right,
maybe that's
right.
an aside.
Agree. I think my number 2, Fishing in the Dark.
I
I love it a lot.
Mhm.
It's a really good song for me. It's something that I can relate to a little bit more, like just childhood feel, things like
Mhm.
that. And then like other than that though, I think it's gonna be Her a lot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So I had a very tough decision between The Motto or Let Me Clear My Throat. So I would kind of like to put them together, and I would say that it's just 1 and 2 right there. I can't
Sure.
really say which one is my 2 and which one is my 1.
Okay.
I would hear
I
either.
love
or.
it. Yeah, and again, let me clear my throat, man.
Classic.
Throwback.
Yeah,
Mhm.
classic.
That if that was a still the Sabres like main goal song for everybody. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's
That's
right
why
up
I
the
love
top.
it so
Absolutely.
much.
Love it. So my number 2, I got "Gimme Gimme Gimme" by ABBA.
Yeah.
I think again,
Oh,
timeless classic, and again, that's Olafsson, who has been a little bit in some
not thinking we're gonna hear it too much, but I like it.
Sure. No, I mean, hey, ABBA's ABBA, baby, and I think if I had an alternative to that, Jeff Skinner last season when he had "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston, like
Yes.
those two oldies
Yeah.
for me had the same vibe. So love both of them. Now let's get into the number 1. Huh? What are we thinking about this number 1 spot?
I'm going to go with one of someone everyone just said, but I just want to preface that I think it's a crime that not one Sabre chose "Just Want to Rock" by Lil Uzi.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
The stadium would have
Sure,
went crazy
sure.
for that.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Anyways, I'm going with Power just for that's electric. Are you kidding me?
No
Yeah,
one
yeah,
man
yeah.
should have
But
all
but
that
and then it does
power.
tie in with the name, but that's also I listen to that song all the time in the gym, so it's just like that.
100%.
How can you not have that number 1 for me?
Exactly.
My number 1's Breaking Free.
Heck
Jeff Skinner
yeah, baby.
always
Oh,
pulls
yeah.
out the great ones. We all know it. Jeff Skinner, he goes deep dive into these things. He likes to be
Mhm.
funny with them, but like at the same time, he picks an electric song every time,
Love it.
and I'm excited for it.
Huge fan.
And now KJ wants you because I already stated
Yep,
that
he
my
did.
2 and 1 are interchangeable.
I mean, shoot, Tommy, give me some love, baby. It's breaking.
Yes,
it's breaking
sir.
free. It's breaking
Yes,
free.
sir.
I grew up on
It's
Disney
number
Channel. I grew up
one.
on High School Musical. I mean, it's just like
Classic.
I don't even know how to put it. Like it's not right. It's not like an electric song, but just hearing breaking
I have
free.
5 sisters,
will make me
man. I
laugh.
know. I've heard it way too many times on that
There will
Disney
not
Channel.
be there will not
Say
be a
yes.
face in that arena that's not smiling after Jeff Skinner's.
Oh,
songs.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Look
All
at
I
last
say
night.
is I'm looking over at Tommy's and he got that number 1. The first name I see is Troy Bolton, so we know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, well, hey, you know what? We got a little bit of time to spare here. Worst song on from the Sabres. Give me your worst.
I gotta take a look at the
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now,
I wouldn't
so
really
yeah.
be able
Let's
to say
pull up
worst
this playlist.
because
Here.
I didn't listen to the playlist. I kind of just looked at the list of the
We can
playlist.
we can get some honorable mentions because I think I don't know. You take a look at "Freed from Desire" by Gala, JJ
Yeah.
Paterka song. Not impressed. Not impressed. I don't know. JJ, come on now. You can pick better songs than that, buddy. Even I don't even know. They all got some pretty solid picks. I got to say, Narco, and Party Till We Die. You'll probably hear it every hockey arena around the U.S.
Yeah,
like, I'll coach like 14U and all that, and they'll have music bumping the entire time. It's those two songs.
Well,
so,
I'll say that I like Narco because I'm a Mets fan, and that's just what we got.
Oh, yeah, Mets fan, baby.
Come on,
Love
everybody
that.
knows. We
Love
got Carlos
that.
coming out. That's how you already
Yep.
know what's going on.
Right.
It's game.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
a wrap.
Exactly. Any other nominees?
Yeah.
I'm only going to
No,
say
nothing.
I Want to Rock. And the only reason I'm saying that
Yeah.
Connor Clifton is I don't think we're going to hear it often.
You know what? That's
Connor
fair.
Clifton maybe 1 to 5 goals this year
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah.
Not too often. I think it's kind of a crime for a good song to go
I
to
can
waste.
agree with that. Even Undefeated, Charlie on a Friday, Benson's song.
Mhm.
Come on. If this, I expect this kid to be scoring a lot. I want to be here in Undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
By Charlie on a Friday.
Charlie on the Friday.
I don't know. But hey, some really good songs to go around, man. I'm excited this year. Sad we're losing. I Want to Dance with Somebody because that song was fire.
That's what I'm saying.
But glad that
Skinner
we're
pulls
keeping Fishing in the Dark for Tage
Oh,
Thompson.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Love it.
Great songs all around. But hey, I love that one. That was great. Thanks for indulging in this.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
someone
of course.
decides to switch up and go. We just want to rock because I think that makes a lot of sense. Like Justin said, it's a popular song.
I can
You know
see
that
it,
It'll
yeah.
go crazy, and everybody in there, we just want to rock.
I can see it. I can
could.
see it. All right, let's switch up here. Switch gears to talking about our Buffalo Bills. We'll still say goodbye to Tommy. Thank you for joining us, sir. Much appreciated.
Sure.
We're going to bring in a
Appreciate
new
it.
face in the meantime, who you'll see in just a moment. I'll wait to introduce this guy. So, all right, let's see. So we got first up on the list. We're talking Bills Patriots, who are going to be playing one of the only 2 remaining 1 p.m. games.
Yeah, that's
Because-
why.
isn't that wild?
Against
Yeah.
them again.
Again, it's
New
all
Year's
it's all prime time. But before we get into that discussion, welcome Jake Moss for the first time.
Thank you.
I mean, hey, good to have you.
Yeah, great to be here.
Exactly. And we'll I would say I can give Jake a little bit of Jake's background. This guy is an all Buff State guy commentating for the esports program with Rocket League. I'm seriously great to have you. Awesome
great to be
to
here.
talk some ball with you. So let's start with about the Patriots. Malik Cunningham, Cunningham, went from the practice squad to a 3-year deal because Mac Jones imploded. He
Yeah.
really just I mean, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean that kind of shows you that they got some confidence in this guy, right? A 3-year deal for a guy who was UDFA. They get rid of Bailey Zappi and cuts, so
Mhm.
obviously they feel comfortable with him as at least the backup. So, and obviously Mac Jones hasn't given you much to be excited about. So why not kick the tires on a guy who might be excited for a team who's 1-5?
Exactly.
Could
I
this
mean,
also be Belichick just blowing up and his career just ending in front of our eyes?
Yeah, right.
He doesn't know what's
like a
happening.
star, like going into supernova. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting because this is really the second season that we've seen Mac Jones kind of implode because his last season, Bailey Zappi went in and he did better than Mac Jones, and now kind of they put their faith in Mac and
I will say there's not a lot there to help him, but
yeah. No, I mean, yeah. To be fair, yeah, Juju's kind of on his way out, and I mean, who else do they have? Kendrick Bourne, right?
Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, who was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they
so-
have the rookie Keyshawn Booty, who was a
Mhm.
later pick, but there's no real standout to help out a young quarterback.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. So let's get away from the QB talk then, because it is really, really depressing. So we'll go into more of the Pats defense and kind of what they're going to be giving to the Bills as a challenge. And they are missing kind of 2 of their star players, Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So kind of what is tell me a little bit about it, Jake. What does it look like now as they're kind of trying to kind of reshape their defense with these players that are almost like the
So-
Bills, really?
What we've seen a lot from New England in past years is the run defense is what really sets them apart from the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm.
With the recent injuries to Matt Judon, you're talking lack of production from Dietrich Wise. The only real edge rusher producing is Josh Uche.
Mm-hmm.
They've moved Christian Barmore, a traditional defensive tackle,
Yeah.
out to an end and have ran more of a 3-4-4-3 hybrid defense, allowing Davon Godchow to
Yeah.
wreak havoc in the run game. The only thing is, going to that 3 front is allowing much more space on the outside runs, which I think fares well for Buffalo using a speedster like James Cook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I can agree with that. I think again now I'm glad you brought up James Cook because I kind of want to want to talk about the Bills' kind of lack of offensive production. Really, I mean, again, being held in the first half to 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I mean, do we have to kind of rethink our whole?
I think this was
identity?
something that I wanted to talk to Howard about when we had him on the show, but we were running out of time.
Mhm.
And he was bringing up how the Bills' identity is passing the ball, but at the same time, with James Cook and the production that we're getting from our offensive line and the production from Osiris Torrance alone, he's just been excelling so fast. Like, I think the Bills' identity is starting to shift a little bit more to where they pass when they have to,
Yeah.
and they can try and run when they need to, and that's basically how football is supposed to be, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Because if you can run the ball when you need to, then
Right.
all that matters is you're getting your first downs and you're able to pass the ball when you want to.
Yeah, exactly. And a huge James Cook believer right next to me
Yeah.
here. And I mean, he had a couple of
Hey.
really great weeks. And then
I
just
kind of talked to Howard about it last week. The hesitancy to
Mhm.
commit to the run game until late in the second half, or not late, even the third quarter. I don't know why. I mean, you got a young guy, you invested a second round pick in James Cook, and you're giving Latavius Murray just 2 less rushes than James Cook. I understand wanting to have that balance of the power element, the power rushing game. But then when you put James Cook in, he's ripping off 10, 15-yard runs almost every other play.
Yeah, it was almost always.
It's kind of infuriating. I would like to see an
Yeah.
increase in the screen game.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a while since we've seen a screen to James
It's
Cook.
kind of like they're having a tough time with consistency of production and targeting things. Like, they want James Cook on the field, but they want to spread the ball around to the 3 backs that they had at the time.
Yeah.
But now Damian Harris down, we saw that they were looking at Leonard Fournette a little bit. That didn't happen because they're thinking of keeping Ty Johnson on the squad as well.
Yeah.
So there's they're not sure exactly what they're doing with production wise and who they're getting the ball to, because we're seeing that in the backfield. We're also seeing that in the wide receiver chart as well too, with Diggs, and like Howard said, you can't really over target Diggs. But
Right.
I seen Colton ask some questions on Twitter. Is it really the coaching? Is it Josh Allen, or is it the receivers? And I'm going to put it on the receivers. Like, get yourself open and tell yourself that you want to be the ball catcher. I wouldn't be saying that you want to take Stephon Diggs routes or take his targets, but you got to tell Josh Allen, on these routes, you got to look for me as well.
Yeah, and that was even a topic that we brought up last show. Was is it where do the faults fall on? Is that play calling or execution? And I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I mean, again, execution wise, last game Dawson Knox dropping dropping a really important pass, but then again it was low from Allen. But can he still catch that? But also there's some
Davis
games,
got a couple drops.
exactly, a couple drops and the fumble, and then there's also like I said, and then the other side of it is Ken Dorsey. There's not a whole lot of separation of routes. Does that fall on the players, or it's always a run pass kind of? So there's definitely a lot of questions.
Good coordinators will scheme their guys open, and that's my gripe with Dorsey. It's still early for him, but you've got guys who can make plays in open space. You've got Khalil Shakir. You've got Deontay Hardy. You signed in the offseason to kind of be that utility guy. Yeah, you got to get these guys in a position that'll make them win. And even with Gabe Davis, what's your guys' comfort level for Gabe Davis being the future wide receiver 2 for the Bills?
I would say I'm not really comfortable with it because we haven't seen what we want to see out of Gabe Davis being the number 2 for Stephon Diggs. Because it really isn't for the Bills. It's, can you complement Stephon Diggs being double teamed the entire game, and can we rely on you to catch the ball and not go ahead and fight for yards and make a fumble like you did before?
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's you got to think to yourself: are there other people on the team that's competing to be that number 2 receiver? Does Gabe Davis even have any competition? Is anyone else taking that spot away from him?
Yeah, really.
They put the C on his chest. I think they like him a lot.
Exactly.
So that'll be something to look into. They might. I don't know. I wouldn't be confident giving him a big second contract, but I mean, it's something you got to look into.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I do want to kind of shift into a discussion about kind of leading into this week. I mean, Justin, that injury list that we took a look at is crazy. We started off the season with one guy listed in the injury report, and that's Micah Hyde, I think, with what was that? Back neck or whatever. And now there's 12 guys on the list. Not to mention, I mean, again, do they list Matt Milano? And
I don't think so. No, those guys are.
I mean, not on IR.
So not even including IR. I mean, it's insane. So I mean, again, with a really beat up Bills team here, what's the outlook for the next few weeks for these guys?
I mean, the outlook is I wouldn't panic yet because when I look at this injury report, there's only a couple guys that I think are truly at risk of missing one game, maybe two.
Which are
Ed Oliver has a toe injury; he didn't practice at all.
Okay.
Obviously, you have Josh with a shoulder injury, but he's limited. I fully expect him to play through that. I mean, we know how he is. Cam Lewis and Kyrie Elam both were limited today, which is kind of scary because the secondary is already thin.
Can Jamarcus Ingram fill that spot for?
Well, they called him up last week. Will they call him up again? You know, you kind of hope so.
Right.
I think there's a limit of like 3 call-ups a season. So if you get up there, you're going to have to sign this guy to a contract.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, Jamarcus, he is right. It's 3 call-ups in the regular season. Ingram already on 2. I would like to see him on maybe a 1-2 year deal for minimum just to see what we have in the kid. He's shown every time we elevate him, but what scares me about the injury report is we have 3 tight ends on the roster and every single tight end is on there.
Yeah.
We talk about how deep this Bills roster is, and what we mention again and again is the guys we have behind our starters are good enough to where we don't have to play hurt starters. One thing I think that's very valuable is the fullback Reggie Gilliam, who is people forget is a hybrid fullback tight end. So when we have a Dawson Knox out, we don't have to elevate a tight end, and we just have Gilliam play both third string tight end and fullback.
Right. No, I can agree with that. Again, it's scary to look at that list and to kind of think of it's only week 7. There's so many more to go, and
injuries are inevitable. It's part of the game.
Exactly.
We're halfway through the season. Do you wish there's less injuries? Of course. Yeah. Do you wish there's less guys on long-term IR? Of course. It's the nature of the game. It's going to happen. Right. Every team deals with this. Maybe not to the extent that we have, but it does happen, unfortunately.
Exactly. And kind of finally looking at the matchup against the Pats, kind of give me your keys to the game here. What are we looking for the Bills to do to kind of capitalize on a victory here on Sunday?
I would say they solidified their offense early in the game and don't come out flat. I think that's one thing that they need to do early and get the ball on the board. I'd say get the points on the board, most likely within the first half of the first quarter, I would say. That's what I want to see, 7 points by 7.5 minutes.
Was it the Jags game? Was 2 back-to-back 3-and-outs? I can't remember.
Yes.
So, again, just and the Giants game was really no different. I mean, you got to come out
into the fourth quarter. So
exactly.
This is an annual thing for the Bills, right? Every year the Bills have like a little 1, 2, 3 game period where the offense is bad. It happened 2 years ago, and then we play the Buccaneers and we almost come back and win. And then on out, the offense is dominant again. So I fully expect it to return to dominance. But you're right. This is a game. We said it last week as well with the Giants. This is a game for the Bills offense to get right again. Yeah. The one thing I'll be looking for is obviously keep the pass rush going. Mac Jones is a statue in the pocket. Right. If these guys can get after him, I hate saying this term, but I don't see it being close.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. I think, again, we talk about depth all the time with kind of what we have, especially with our defense, our D-line. Yeah, we can eat the O-line up. I agree. I think it's going to be something that that the Pats really have to worry about. I think the really only scary part of their team, the Patriots, is their interior D-line is really just the only thing that really needs to be feared. But even then,
Kyle Duggar's a good player too.
Exactly.
Watch out for him.
And we touched on it earlier, how they've moved Barmore out to the edge. I'd like to see a lot of this inside zone game.
Yeah.
Really see what we have, and can we run the ball up between the tackles in later in the season.
It's only three down linemen I'm running, especially too high. I'm running all day.
So is that something that you guys are saying, like, once you see that automatically you want to see James Cook with the ball in his hand, or are you okay with seeing a few pass plays when there's 3 down linemen if it fits the scenario of the game?
Situationally, passing is okay, but I'd like to see majority running the ball.
Okay. That's something that I'm looking for as well. I want to see more running too, because just like Justin said, we're big fans of James Cook here. So if he produces well and it gets us first down so we're able to pass the ball more, that makes more sense rather than just deep shot, punt the ball.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but this guy, James Cook, is like up there for yards per carry in the NFL. He's got to be top 10 because, like I said, he's not getting very many rushes, but when he gets the opportunity, he'll take it for 10 to 15.
Absolutely. All right, last thing we got to do is final score predictions for this game, starting with Justin.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of the final score predictions. I'm not even gonna go crazy, dude. I need the offense to show me that they can do something before I give them another 30 ball because they haven't done it in 2 games. I'll give them 21-3.
Sure.
I went through and one thing I've looked at is the strength versus strength. And
Okay.
so the Patriots defense versus the Bills offense is really a clash of the best versus the best.
Sure.
Obviously, we don't see Buffalo holding teams to 0 anymore in an offensive powered league. So I like 27-10, seeing the offense get going, Bass get going with a few field goals here and there.
Yeah. No, I mean, any like specific score? Or?
He said
27-10.
27-10.
I'm sleeping, guys. I'm
It's
sleeping.
okay.
Okay.
So
How about you?
unrelated to Tyler Bass, I went 21-10. So I basically see the same thing going on compared to Jake's score,
Mhm.
except I wasn't contributing Tyler Bass's field goal. So if he decides to kick some field goals throughout the game, it could be 27-10, but I got 21-10.
That's fair
That's
enough.
another thing. We got to see Bass get his confidence back. 'Cause the
Yeah.
last one was a rocky
Exactly.
one.
I'm taking 24-13. I think it's the same thing. Yeah, Bass getting his confidence back, and we'd like to apologize to all Bills fans out there as we put out the Mr. Perfect article on our website as Bass missed 2 points.
Bad timing.
Anyways, all that to say, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be live again next Monday to do a recap of the Bills series and some more deep dives into the Sabres, hopefully victories.
Yeah,
And
Don't forget about some UB football this weekend, Buff State football this weekend.
that's true.
There's a lot going on in Western New York with sports, so make sure you guys tune into all of that.
That's so true. And yeah, if you want to get a deeper dive on any of our content, check out BuffaloSportsInsider.com. Check out any of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And other than that, guys, I think that's just about it from us in the studio. My name
AJ's gonna take a nap after this.
I was about to say, I need sleep, man. After that Giants game, I'm done for the week. Katie Zelzinski, Deshaun Francois, Jake Moss, Tommy Bailey over there, and Justin Cejak. Thank you guys for joining us. Buffalo Sports Insider, everything sports, everything Buffalo. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves. Bye.